So y'all, today we're going to talk about how to send a notice to dispute a debt, okay? We're talking about sending notices to debt collections, okay? So in this video, I want to talk about the law to include in this letter. We're going to talk about what to look for after you send the letter. We're going to talk about how it's going to benefit you and how it's going to benefit you fast, okay? So you don't want to miss this video, y'all. You do not want to miss this. I use this letter all the time when I am disputing, and I'm telling y'all how to dispute with this letter as well. You can use this letter and you can remove collection agencies off your credit report.
So this type of dispute we are talking about today is a notice to dispute debt, okay? This notice can be used for any collection agency, y'all. Any collection agency you want to dispute a debt with, you can use it. You can use this letter for your auto loan you have that went into collection. You can use this letter for any electric company you dealt with that went to collections. You can use this notice to dispute debt for a payday loan that went to collections, and even evictions that went to collections. You can use this with. Basically, at the top, you have your date there. You have your name, your address. You have the company name. And then we're going to jump right into it. You got notice to principal. It's notice to agent. And notice to agent is notice to principal. So you pretty much want to make sure you get your account name. You want to make sure you get the account number. They'll change things. They'll say they don't know what you're talking about. So you want to get as much information as possible, especially if there's an account number attached to the debt. This is a notice to your company to dispute this debt. So what you want to say is, I dispute any debt your company claims to have on me. You must stop all collection activities. Do not call my telephone number. So you insert your telephone number there. If you were ever given permission to call this number, insert it again. So insert your telephone number again. Me personally, y'all, I like to repeat myself over and over so they can really get the fact. Even though I inserted it up there, I personally insert it again because I need you to clearly know what I'm talking about, okay? So if you were given permission to call this number, I am revoking that now, okay? My demands are for you to provide me the audit trail. This is what I need included in the audit trail. Account file, ledger, all account documents, the transactional history, okay? So this is really important, and we're going to jump into that in a little bit. So please be sure to provide everything demanded in this letter. If you are unable to provide the demanded information, you must delete this account immediately. Okay? So you see how this letter is not going in saying, hey, remove this off my account. I do not owe this. This debt don't belong to me. We're not saying that. We're not saying that. This letter is so important because it's a notice to dispute debt, but you're asking them for this information because if you say I owe some, you got to have the account file. You got to have the ledger. You got to have my all the accounting documents to my account. You got to, to this debt that you so-called that I owe. You're alleging that I owe some type of debt. There got to be some type of transactional history. So, it's cool. Just, give me all that. Let me see what you're talking about. So it's very important, y'all, when we are disputing anything. A lot of these companies, especially a lot of credit repair companies, they just go in talking about dispute this debt. And you may get results for a little bit, and all of a sudden, results are stopped. To truly get results all the time and get your remedy, y'all, you have to go deeper when disputing with the consumer reporting agencies as well as collection agencies, whoever claimed you owe them. You want to ask them for information. If you say I owe some, give me the information. And that's a lot of times what we're lacking when we are disputing with these companies, because half the time they're not going to be able to provide this information you're asking. Account file, ledger, all of that stuff. Because look, it's a collection agency. You never did business with a collection agency. They definitely don't got all your information. I'm sure they don't. I haven't ran into one collection agency that I disputed with that had all my information. So it's very important. So be sure, I think I read that, but we're going to go over it again. Please be sure to provide everything demanded in this letter. If you are unable to provide the demanded information, you must delete this account immediately. If you fail to communicate to the Consumer Reporting Agency that this debt is disputed, that would be a violation pursuant 15 USC 1692 E8. False or misleading representation. False or misleading. I'm going to explain to y'all why that line right there is so important. So the reason why this letter is so powerful, y'all, is because according to this law right here that I just read, when you dispute with any company, they have to immediately let the consumer reporting agencies or whoever they are reporting this information to that you had disputed this debt. They have to let them know. According to law, it says if they decide to communicate about the debt that you are disputing, they must tell whoever they're communicating to that the debt has been disputed. And the reason why it's so important is because once you dispute this debt, it no longer affects your credit score. Man, y'all better hear me. I'm telling you, I'm giving y'all some gems right now. When you dispute with a company, they must, if they communicate about any debt that you are disputing, they must say, oh, that debt been disputed. They can't say that you've been late. They can't say nothing but the debt has been disputed. The law is very clear as to civil liability and the remedy available to me according to 15 USC 1692K. Furthermore, failure to honor this requested demand will lead me to fully intend on pursuing litigations in this matter, suing your company for actual damages sustained. Okay, so remember I made a video about damages sustained. Okay, it's very important to know what damages sustained mean. So if you already know, according to that law that I just said, they must report that debt is disputed, and they don't do so, and it continues to affect your credit score. Let's say you go out here and apply for something like a loan, or try to get, an auto loan for work. You got to get to work. You got kids, you got to get to work, and you disputed a debt maybe a month ago, and they still reporting that debt that you owe something, that's actual damages sustained. So you can go to court and be like, I disputed this. They caused me to not get approved for auto loan. And I couldn't work. I couldn't get to my daycare. That's damages sustained. So you got to really think real deep when you're trying to sue somebody for damages sustained. You really want to think about that. Please be aware that freezing this account is not an update to my credit report. And I actually don't like to use credit report. I like to use consumer report. So thanks for giving this letter your prompt attention. And you want to write your name. Never signature your name. Never signature your name on no documents, y'all. They copy and paste and put your signature on, contracts and all type of stuff. You never want to signature to these people, but it is very important, y'all, that you dispute this way. And this letter is really powerful. Like I said, that law, 15 USC 1692 E8, if they do not, when they communicate about your debt that has been disputed, that's a violation. And the reason why a lot of times these companies don't want to do that, because they know that debt would no longer affect you. So let's say you disputed a whole lot of collections, and they put as disputed on your credit report, that debt don't affect you. You can go out here and do what you want to do. You can go apply for what you need to apply for. It's not going to affect your credit score no more. It's not going to bring your credit score down anymore. And they know that. And the bottom of this says, please be aware that freezing this account is not an update. So what we're saying right here is that if you freeze this account, this is not an update. And what they like to do is freeze your account, meaning that they won't say anything. It'll be just reporting the same thing every month. And that's a violation. Every month these companies need to, send out some type of update to the consumer reporting agencies. And if you don't see an update every month on all of your accounts on your consumer report, that's a violation. So that's what these companies like to do when you go in sending these type of letters. They would just freeze it because they don't want to say as disputed, because they know the debt ain't going, it ain't going to affect you no more. So they're going to freeze it. So this is what you do, y'all. You better listen to me. So when they freeze it, what you can do is send a letter to the consumer reporting agencies, because now they being disrespectful. They not honoring your letter. It's some steps. You got to put the work in. And for those who are lazy, this may not work for you. So if they freeze it, I sent the letter to the consumer reporting agencies like, hey, what's going on? I got an account that's been froze on my consumer report. There's no activities going on. There's nothing being updated every month. What is going on? That's a violation. Plus, this account should be reported as disputed. Remove this account immediately. That's what you can tell them. Remove this account immediately. What the consumer reporting agency is going to do is either remove that account all the way, because they don't want no trouble, especially if you told them that you put a notice in to dispute that debt, and the account is just sitting there frozen, no activity. They either gonna remove it immediately because they're gonna be lazy and they don't want to reach out to the company, or, because this happened to me, they'll send they'll flag the company that you disputed with, and that'll trigger the company to put as disputed. It's simple, super simple, y'all. This letter is super powerful. This is actually one of my favorite letters to use when I'm disputing with anybody. I disputed evictions with this letter. I disputed payday loans, auto loans, anything that's in collections, y'all. We have more power over these companies, I'm telling you. And it's all about, how you play with your words. It's all about you putting the work in. Some people just feel like, oh, let me just send one letter and they're going to get results. But if if you a person that's going to go out here and get it for yourself, and no matter what, this gonna work for you. Once they put as disputed, you need to take advantage of everything that you're trying to do. That debt no longer affects you. So it's a really powerful letter. And if they continue to violate you, write letters to these companies. There's other laws that tells you, hey, you violated me. Here's my second notice. I'm giving you a chance to correct yourself. And look, I am definitely considering pursuing to sue you if you don't correct this, information. So this is a really powerful letter, y'all. You can definitely use it if you need more understanding. If you need a consultation call, reach out to me. This letter has changed my life and many of my clients' life. If you really need help and you really don't understand, the procedure and the process of how things work, reach out to me. I can help you. So stay blessed. If you need more information, set up a consultation call, and don't wait to be great.